So yesterday evening, I decided that I was going to email Chris Hossack, the Essex County Council cabinet member with responsibility for libraries, with regard to the various decision making recently about which communities can and can't advertise their community events in the libraries. Because obviously I was less than happy about that. I was less than happy about this affecting the Black Lives Matter community as well as other communities on general principles. This is a provocative, heavy-handed, authoritarian move which is creating a hostile environment for minority communities, and it just is. That's exactly what it does, and whether or not it's a formal policy, it is a step in a culture war, which certainly, from the various comments you see on social media, many of the supporters of Reform UK are happy to see the party engage in. So I emailed Chris Hossack and said that given that we now know that two further authorities, the Warwickshire County Council, reform-led, and St Helens Borough Council, reform-led, are also pursuing broadly similar policies with regards to their libraries, interfering with which communities can advertise their community events and who can't. Was this a formal national party policy that was now being executed via local councils? Was this an attack on libraries that had been authorised via the National Party? I got a very fast response back, and I'm talking in less than 5 minutes after I sent my initial email. He was very quick to deny that. And as an observer of human nature, an extremely fast denial can be as telling as a solid wall of silence. So I pressed him a little further and said, well, in that case, I am confused. A library is already a neutral space. I know that he's made much about trying to make sure that libraries are neutral spaces where, quote unquote, everyone is welcome. But since the libraries had been running as neutral spaces with all communities advertising their various community events at the library for goodness knows how long now, why the necessity to interfere? And this is what I got in response. In some cases, promotion of certain ideologies in Essex libraries have been far from neutral, and that has been addressed separately. Libraries should be welcoming to all. So I immediately responded with, in some case, could you please specify what do you mean and where in some cases? And when you say far from neutral, could you please specify your terms? What I got in response to that was he was going to send me a picture of some artwork that had been in my local library, local city centre library, that would illustrate his point, and he would leave it there. Now, I have the artwork in question is graffiti style, and it swears. It uses the B word, which, yes, I suppose arguably for a family use library, that particular piece of artwork is possibly inappropriate, in which case you speak to the stakeholders and you find a more appropriate place for that particular piece of artwork. Why the collective punishment? unless you were looking to find something to use as an excuse, something to leverage your desire to pursue your culture war. Now, I've shared the details with our Save Our Libraries campaign, and I've shared the details onto my community page. I've left a link down below so that you can see I've put the correspondence up between me and Chris Hossack so that you can see that and you can see the artwork involved. The last email that I've sent to him, I haven't yet had a response. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one. I have also contacted the leader of Warwickshire County Council, who's that Boy Wonder guy, and a councillor over at St Helens. We'll see what happens, if anything does. Possibly not, I don't know. But anyway, that was an interesting conversation, and I possibly got more information out of him than he necessarily would have wanted to share otherwise. But yeah, this is a culture war. This is Reform UK creating a hostile environment. It's not about a neutral space. It's about a hostile environment. This is about a hostile environment for minority communities, who Reform UK do not wish to welcome, from within and without. There's a word for that. We're not having it. Have a lovely day, lovely people.